friends. Welcome back to Key Lime Jaguar. I'm genuinely glad you're here. If you're a first-time watcher, welcome. Really glad to have you. You need to know two things about the show. One, doesn't matter what you believe. Totally fine. If it's something, if it's nothing, doesn't matter. Glad you're here. Two, I add jokes to videos. There's sometimes collaborators. We add jokes to videos. That's it. That's all. Simple concept. You'll get it. I hope you find it funny. We got a good one this week because, look, I can't call anybody a liar when it comes to mystical experiences. I've had a few. Hey, but my eyes were wide open and it was like a Saturday night. This guy claims that he actually died, went to hell, and Jesus pulled him out of that. And look, I can't tell you he's wrong. I think he's wrong. I can't tell you he's wrong. I don't have any facts on the matter, so all I can really do is add jokes, and I really hope you enjoy this one. Thanks for being here. This song is a legal requirement to prove that this is fair use. I promise that once it's all over, we'll make lots of jokes for you.
Hi, welcome to Heaven Encounters.
Apparently heaven has fake plants. Who knew?
My guest today is Brian Melvin.
That's Mr. Melvin.
He was a self-professed militant atheist, and then he died.
Which is going to make interviewing him a bit difficult, but I'm not giving up.
He experienced hell after his death.
He experienced hell by being forced to eat Arby's 6 meals in a row.
That is also very intriguing because God gave him a vision of heaven as well.
That heavenly vision, of course, being Chris Hemsworth in a Speedo. I mean, of the church, the cross, definitely a cross.
Hey, Randy, it's great to be here.
It's great to have you. And let's start there with how you died.
Gunned down while breaking into Area 51, I imagine.
Well, make a long story short, I got about a 5-hour testimony, so.
Basic measurements of time are hilarious.
I found myself drinking some bad water, polluted water out of a thermos, and I contracted cholera.
Breaking into Area 51, cholera, I mean, they're the same thing.
And I recall about 3 days after I drank the water, taking my last breath, and in a nanosecond, I lost all my atheistic worldviews. Like you said, I was a militant atheist back then.
This guy strikes me as more of a militant Beanie Baby collector than anything else.
It amazed me that after I died, I was still alive. I was more alive then than I am now.
You were more alive after you died than you are alive right now when you're breathing? No, totally.
Incredible.
I got you, bro.
I found myself floating above my body. I had no worries. And next thing I knew, I went through the ceiling and entered this black void.
We're going to skip ahead a bit. There's a reason this guy says he has 5 hours of commentary on this. Is because he repeats himself a lot.
And I was in this black void floating toward this light, hearing this very beautiful, beautiful, profound music.
That beautiful, profound music, believe it or not, Creed with arms wide open.
And it was explaining the mysteries of God, his nature, his character, the mysteries of the universe, if you will. Most of it was... I can't really talk about because there's just no way to talk about it.
Because God made me sign a non-disclosure agreement, legally binding.
Was something. And because snippets of my life would be flashing before me.
So many Beanie Babies flying right past my eyes.
Of certain characteristics of God with myself knowing it as well as not knowing it. I was taking advantage of God's gift. He gave me life. I was actually making life very ugly.
No argument here. Carry on.
Toward a reckoning, because I felt this profound love and joy and never thought in a million years that God's love was actually going to be judging me.
Well, dude on the right is judging you pretty hard. And honestly, I'm not sure if he's even a dude so much as a cadaver covered in Play-Doh.
And you encountered, at that point, Jesus. And that's the amazing thing, because you really didn't know about him. And he told you something in advance of where you were going. What did he say?
He said skibbity toilet, and I still don't know what that means.
As I was floating through this void and I landed before him and feet first.
Floating weightless through a black void, but yet you still had feet, did you?
It was, who it was? Jesus. What he was showing me how I gamed this system. I thought, how I, how do you say,
skibbity toilet.
reprobate in my thinking, so to speak. I would take advantage of people. It's like my parents. God gave me a gift of life, gave me great parents.
Gave your mom a great ass. Also, we're going to skip ahead. This dude loops for like the next 3 minutes.
For my own ends, I betrayed people. I robbed from people at that time.
Isn't stealing from people funny?
The visions that came to me was a past event in my life where I sold drugs to the church youth group.
Oh man, selling drugs to minors, just hilarious.
And they all came back wanting more drugs, and I found I knew nothing about drugs except what I read in a book.
And obviously how to sell them. Also, we're going to skip ahead. I don't think anybody wants another 5 minutes of this dude's stories of petty misdemeanors as a youth.
I had a chip on my shoulder. I accused God of being a big meanie. He doesn't want you to have any fun.
Yeah, God's a big, stinky, doo-doo butt face.
Wow. So you were an atheist at this point. And Jesus told you,
skibbity toilet, skibbity toilet.
So what he said to me, he said, you will see a land unknown that's best forgotten, but not to remain left unseen. When you come to a point of overwhelming, say my name.
Say my name, say my name. When demons are around you, say, Jesus, I need you. Don't want to feel this pain.
That was the kicker, because it was like I'm flummoxed. I had no idea. I wrote in my book, A Land Unknown, Hell's Dominion.
Little shameless self-plug for his book there. This whole interview is about going to hell and being redeemed through Jesus, but got to get them sales dollars up. You know what I'm saying?
On a hill, I looked down a valley, and there's a house on the other side, and all these people come running out of the house, people who I know who have died or whatever, and they came down and welcomed me to paradise. This wasn't paradise because the tree was dilapidated, things looked dead. It was extraordinarily hot.
That's just summer in Texas. What do you mean?
And then they would change and morph into another person. And I thought that was strange. Then their eyes looked like alligator eyes, or like yellow.
Pictured here by a couple of white billiard balls for some reason.
Then they turned into what they were. These were these hellish creatures, or the demonic beings, you want to call them.
I call them the members of the Backstreet Boys.
Authority over the smaller ones, and they're going to overwhelm me and tear me to shreds. And that's when I started to say, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
Say my name, say my name.
And that's pretty much how it started, this whole thing. And this creature, he stood about 4'8" tall.
Gotta say, I'm surprised that hell has the exact same spatial proportions as Earth, but I'm even more surprised that at 4'8", apparently the devil is legally a little person.
That's how foul it was. I could never see how many eyes. He kind of looked like a little dinosaur type thing.
My apologies. His preferred pronouns are obviously little dinosaur.
I nicknamed him Lizard Breath because his breath was so foul. After I came back, that's what I nicknamed him.
We go bowling on Tuesdays, and he's in my fantasy football league now. Great guy.
Over and told me, come follow him. I offer you half the kingdom. It's been granted to you to see this place. He hated my guts. I mean, I
do too. But let's skip ahead because he dwells on this for a while, and we'll catch up with him right about the time he goes to apparently a Tenacious D music video.
Place, it was like a bottomless pit. It's all I can describe. There's an open place in the middle. These tornado vortexes were dropping people off inside of these cells, and plus these demonic entities were escorting people and placing them in cells at the same time. I was overwhelmed. I didn't know what to think about it. And I just sat there and I looked at it, and this thing was talking to me in a hellish language, and I could understand it.
Dutch, I'm pretty sure it was.
The cells, and I could see people inside the
And
cells.
apparently now we're in a Red Hot Chili Peppers music video. Waiting on another black summer to
Show
hell.
me this place. And I don't know why he was showing me, because at the time I wanted to wake up, because this was terrifying.
Just to recap, things that make this dude laugh, stealing from his friends, selling drugs to kids, and being terrified. All hilarious.
And that's what happened. That's how I got to this place. It was the pit of hell.
And Brian, you saw people there. You knew their station in life before they had died.
Mm-hmm.
You account for a former pastor, I think. I don't know what, I've forgotten what.
Joel Osteen for sure.
Who was, had, slept with many women.
Yeah.
And then you saw one person in particular.
Nicolas Cage.
And I've got to ask you, I will let you say who that is, but he is probably the most despised man in all of history.
Oh, Tom Brady.
Certainly.
Yeah. I saw so many people there. We kind of wind back around, down and around. I can't explain how it all is in a short amount of time we have.
If only we had 5 more hours. God, you really are a meanie.
And the individual that I saw that I mentioned also in a docudrama that was done on me.
Another quick self-plug.
Was Adolf Hitler. He was inside at that time. This was 1980 when this happened.
This all happened in 1980? This interview is from 2023. How old is this guy? And that's not a rhetorical question because I absolutely looked it up. Here we go. Brian Melvin, author, speaker, book of his whatever, went to Colorado State. Wait, when did he go? If this dude was 18 in the year 1994, that means when this story happened in 1980, he was 4 years old, which does explain the cholera thing, but it doesn't explain him selling drugs to youth groups as a toddler. So I think we can all agree, even before proving this dude's math wrong, that he's full of shit. So let's go ahead and end the video. Thank you very much for listening. If you've made it this far, I'm stunned and humbled, and yeah, we'll keep doing them. See you next time.